Hello and welcome to Talk Talk. My name is James and this is my brother Dan. We're brothers. And welcome to our podcast.
We'll be covering a wide range of topics. None set at all. There'll be sport related, gaming related, anything at all world related. It's all down to obviously what you guys want to listen to us talk about and what we feel like talking about. If there's big issues that come up, then we'll probably be trying to address them and giving our points of view. This isn't going to be what's right and what's wrong. It's more of a me and my brother sitting down, talking, giving our own opinions. They might not reflect other people's might not agree, but that's fine. And like I say, just pop it in the comments below, and it's always good to see different points of view.
Yeah, of course, you're 100%. I think it's important to express the fact that these opinions are ours alone, ours solely sort of thing. They're not influenced by anyone else. Um, Obviously we're gonna just try and look at different things as and when they come up. But today specifically what we're going to look at is FIFA points and the effect that they could possibly have on children. Um, and also about the possible effects that you can have in the longer term sense, even about possible relation to gambling addiction sort of thing. But again, these are our own points of view, just discussing it, talking about it. For those of you that don't know what FIFA points are, they're an in-game currency for FIFA Ultimate Team. So you buy them with real money. So for example, 2,200 FIFA points will cost you £15 £15.99. And these FIFA points will then be used to purchase packs, which will hopefully get better players to help upgrade your team. But in realistic sense, me and Dan have both played FIFA a lot, and especially Ultimate Team, and we can both safely say that just because you're buying packs with whether it be with FIFA coins, which is an in-game currency you earn by playing games or selling players, or by FIFA points which you spend, the pack luck that you get is not great sort of thing. So the money you're spending, this £15.99 that you're spending on these 2,200 FIFA points, the chances of you getting anyone decent out of the packs is very, very slim in itself, sort of thing. So it's in that sense, that's why we're looking at it as a sense of gambling, because it's the odds on it are going to be really, really high, sort of thing. But as I say, we'll get into that in a bit more detail as we go through the video.
So to begin with, we'll be talking about our own experiences. We've both played FIFA quite extensively, and we play it probably more. I know, especially I do, towards the back end of FIFA when you've got all the cards out and stuff like that. I purely play it just to play a game with my brother that we both enjoy.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, personally, I as soon as I've got James into Ultimate Team quite recently, and it was me that got him into it.
yeah.
Um, since then, I think like I say, you've enjoyed it. I'd say you enjoy it. Is that right?
No, yeah, I definitely something I enjoy. It's one of those things. Yeah, you say I hadn't played it up until I think it was last year or maybe the year before.
Mm.
Um, but it's one of those things that now is developed sort of into one of those things that I sort of play FIFA mainly to play Ultimate Team. I do play
Yeah,
career mode occasionally, but mainly predominantly I play Ultimate Team.
but
I
also
think it's
I think that is a lot to do with the fact that EA are very clever in the aspect of that they haven't advanced the career mode. That they haven't they put new features in each year, but it needs a big revamp. And I
yeah,
think that's a topic for like, a completely different topic. And but it obviously it shows how profitable the Ultimate Team is to FIFA. Um, they it wouldn't surprise me in the next few years if career mode isn't a thing and it's just Ultimate Team because they make so much money out of it.
yeah. Because I know one thing that we've spoken about before is something that we'd love to see in it is a co-op career mode sort of thing, because that would be what would predominantly play. But as you say, would they ever put it in there because it wouldn't spin any extra money for FIFA, whereas for
No,
Ultimate Team they've always got the profit of FIFA points,
and I
especially
think
around about now when the Team of the Year's just dropped. They must be raking in so much money from people buying
yeah,
FIFA points.
yeah, and I
Um,
mean, I think if they put in, let's say that's not to say that they won't put co-op in. I hope they do, but I think if they put co-op in, people like me and you would probably spend predominantly most of our time on career mode, and I don't think EA wants that because that's taking customers away from the Ultimate Team side of stuff. Which, like you say, is as we'll go into as we carry on with this video, that it's quite easy to sit there and think, oh, I'll just open a pack or something, and yeah, I mean, when I got you into Ultimate Team, my first thing I said to you was never spend
Yeah,
coins on packs and never buy packs,
that's it.
because it's just it's a mugs game if you're gonna do it for if you're gonna stick a fiver in or something like that. It's just you, you won't get anything that justifies spending that additional money.
No,
You've just sort of got, in my opinion, you've just got to grind it out, and you get what you get. But it's not so much us now. It's if you think of, I think I would have been in a very different position if I played Ultimate Team when I was 13, 14.
yeah, definitely. I think I always really enjoyed the career modes growing up, sort of thing. I think my favorite ever FIFA was FIFA 2005 because I just used to love the free kick system. And I used to, because being an Arsenal fan, sort of thing, I used to love playing as Arsenal and just taking it as far as I could with like Thierry Henry up front and stuff like that. And a card-based game system like Ultimate Team would never have even crossed my mind. But had it been there, it's one of those things like could it have led me to a more severe like a gaming addiction? Because I would say that I do play games, Xbox sort of thing, PC a fair bit now anyway. But had I got into that something a bit more addictive side of things like Ultimate Team, would it have taken me down a potentially different path? Obviously, this is just speculating sort of thing. It's
Yeah,
either
yeah,
one way or the other. But
yeah. But the
in
thing
my
is also that for us, I mean, I play games a lot. I've uh, got a partner, I've got a child, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, at the moment, I spend a lot more on games and a lot more time on games than what I should do. I think that's a lot to do with the fact that obviously the current situation with COVID, being locked down, you're in the house all the time. You don't really get much time to yourself. For me, I've always found I can play a game for a couple of hours, say in the evening, and I could not honestly tell you what I thought about in those 2 hours because I'm just relaxed and calm and in my own place.
think
Um,
that's it.
so yeah,
I
I
think one of
think
the main things.
it's just when you look at stuff like I say with FIFA and stuff, how it would affect 12, 13 year old me. I think that's where it sort of kicks in a bit, and I'm a bit like, wow. I mean, I would never have got like my parents' credit card and whacked a load of money on it, but I know that a lot of kids have done that,
Yeah,
and obviously they never get reimbursed the money. So it's I can see how that happens, and like I say, obviously we're gonna go into that more now.
yeah. And as you're saying, from my own personal point of view, with my experiences with Ultimate Team, it's always that thing, as you say. I only started last year, so it's all relatively new to me still. I know that you've packed an icon before, so like a legendary player, which I never have done, but it's just one of those things that you do or you don't get. But I was lucky enough literally the other day to pack of the team of the year Bruno Fernandez and and I can't sell him sort of thing, but he's like rated 97 and he's worth like 3.6 million FIFA coins sort of thing. So it's just one of these completely lucky things that I managed. I did literally grinded one premium pack sort of thing, premium Premier League players pack sort of thing, and he was one person in there. And I've done a couple since then, and I got nobody over at like a rating of 82 sort of thing. So it's
Mm.
just one of those things that
It's in,
you win some, you lose some. But I think from my own point of view, I always like the SBCs. I know that you're not a big fan necessarily of the SBCs, but I find them quite addictive because they're quite sort of like a puzzle game in a sense like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You've got the FIFA app on your phone. You use the SBCs more of like a puzzle game with the players that you're not going to use to try and get better players possibly.
and that's I
Um,
think firstly just to just to make clear that when James is talking about FIFA coins, that's not the same as FIFA points. FIFA coins
yeah,
are coins that you get for playing games, selling players. It's like what the in-game currency. FIFA points are literally just what you pay for to add on to your account, and then you can do whatever you like with that. So you can um, like buy into a game mode where you play games for packs, and mainly to buy packs. That's what the main use for them are. But yeah,
Yeah,
FIFA coins are not the same. But yeah, like I say, it's. I mean, I started off and I'd done all the SBCs to begin with, and I got I packed 2 mayonnaise, didn't I? And
yeah,
just yeah, I was off to a flyer to begin with. But I said to James this FIFA, I wasn't gonna spend any additional money. I'm not going to do any untradeable SBCs, um, because that is also feeds into what we're talking about now. Because if you do an SBC for an untradeable player, once that player becomes null and void, say you at the start of FIFA he's rated 82, 83, and then you've got him, all of a sudden he becomes useless because they've released all these other players, and then all of a sudden you've got to upgrade again. But to get that player, you've used what you might not have because you have untradeable players, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to use at least one tradable player, so to speak. So you've lost that value in coins, which means then you like people resort to buying FIFA points to get more coins to buy more players to then do these other SBCs. So it's FIFA are very clever how they they sort of process what players people are using, and how that affects going forward. Um, how their spending habits are going to be, I suppose.
yeah. I think I think one thing we're going to touch on later is about the effect that watching streamers on like Twitch or YouTube could possibly have on not even necessarily younger people, but on older people, sort of thing. Because
Mm.
I watch streamers, I know you've watched streamers, sort of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
and you sit there and you watch them, and they've got like millions of FIFA points, like the ones you actually have to buy with money,
Yeah.
sitting there in their account, and you just look at it and you think, how have they managed to do that? And I think I worked out. I think I said to you the other day, didn't I, that one streamer I'd been watching, sort of, he had the equivalent of like £30,000 worth of FIFA points sitting on his account. It's like, how
Yeah.
do you even get to that point where you can justify spending that much money on FIFA points just for a game
This.
that I know you've said it for years and years and years, that
Mm.
when this game finishes, you can't take them with you. That's
No,
it.
exactly, exactly. Once that game's finished, all of a sudden the next game comes out in October, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one, and then you go through the same process. The one thing I will say is that, especially about the streamer point, is that for us to watch it, we can sit there and make the assumption, not so much the assumption, but you're confident in the fact that you know why they've got that amount of coins on there, and that's because
Yeah,
they make a lot of money from doing what they're doing. Which fair play to
yeah,
them, all power to them. But what we were talking about is more the younger generation. So for a maybe 8, 9 year old kid watching a streamer, he's got all these coins and all these FIFA points on his account, and then they're kind of sitting there and thinking, oh well, he's got it on there, so why does it matter? He doesn't sit there and think, well, he's running a business, so to speak, and he might have 30,000 on his, like £30,000 on his account, but he's probably making out of one video, I don't know, 20
from
20,000,
sponsorships and stuff
say.
like that.
So he makes 3, 4 videos like that, he's in profit. So
Yeah,
the streamers are only investing in their own business, so to speak. But it's more the fact of when kids watch it, what they see and what they well, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to go and pump as much money as I can into this game.
well,
That's
that's it.
going to,
I think that's where it relates back to the whole kids or younger people taking their parents' credit cards and buying all these FIFA points because they've seen all these streamers have so many on their account, sort of thing, and they think to themselves, "Oh, it must be easy." They don't think of the consequences in the long run, sort of thing.
no, and I
Um,
think that's also down to it's also like your parent, like responsible parenting as well, to sort of address that issue and sort of make the kids aware of that. You know, you it, being it like obviously kids are very different to adults in terms of how they think about things, how they work it out, how they, you know, the repercussion, the hindsight, stuff like that. So
Mm.
it's okay us saying, well, yeah, my kid would never do that. He wouldn't be stupid enough to do that. I'll tell him not to. But they're kids. That's you know,
Yeah,
and I think at times you have to shield kids, not so much that they don't experience things, but in the same aspect to sort of have their head screwed on enough where they don't make mistakes that
I think the
can be avoidable.
I think the other thing is that these days, obviously, kids are a lot more technologically aware than say we were when we were growing up. Because I know
Mm,
that I always looked at my dad sort of thing, when we was looking at anything to do with technology. I had no idea growing up, sort of thing. But I think now kids are so aware of technology so early on
mm,
that they can. Because I never used to have the password to my dad used to have a parental account on the Xbox, sort of thing. I never used
yeah,
to have the password to that, and that was the way you used to be able to buy anything through the Xbox, through that.
yeah,
So anytime I wanted anything, I used to have to go to him anyway, and he used to have to log himself in and authorize it.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know whether kids these days are able to sort of figure out the parental controls on the Xboxes or the PlayStations and sort of turn them off, sort of thing, and then they have the
Let
access that way.
we're at a very, I mean, this is going off topic slightly, but I suppose, like you say, addressing what you've just said is it's like we're at a very weird point. I feel um in life, so to speak, the life cycle, the you know the life sort of between ages and stuff, because we're we're at the point where technology is vital in life, but also we're at the point where like the elder the older generation don't fully know how and understand it. There's a lot of youngsters teaching the older people how to use this technology. So yeah, like exactly what you say. I think in 20, 30 years' time, when we're older and our kids are older and maybe they've got kids or something, it'd be slightly different because the kids now are growing up with the technology. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think like you say, that's probably where a lot of the mishaps happen as well, is because the adults are very sort of naive in terms of how technology works. I think, like I say, 20, 30 years down the line, I think it'd be very different because the kids have always, then the kids that are then parents always have technology in their life.
Yeah, I think going back to what you said before, sort of thing. I think on the other hand, sort of thing, parents never expect it to happen to themselves, so they never think about the worst case scenario until it
Mm,
happens, sort of thing. So
yeah,
I
and I
think
think
they've
we're
just
all victim to that, where in any aspect of anything in life is, it will never happen to me until
no,
it does.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I mean, like I say, it's when you sort of take into account the amount of money that EA makes out of these packs, it's scary. Like if
I would I would love to know how much money they made just from the Team of the Year section of FIFA on
so
FIFA
how
points
so basically FIFA do these when a new
promos
promo
throughout the
comes
year,
out,
sort of thing.
they do flash lightning rounds. So they'll release how many ultimate packs do you think they released? So it was about hundred
It really
thousand,
varies.
maybe.
Sometimes, yeah, that's
Yeah,
daily,
yeah, yeah. And this is the thing. This is just one. Like they'll drop them at 6, and they'll be gone by quarter past. You know
if
that.
that.
Yeah, and so just to have a look at it. Um, 1 second. So say 100,000 times what did we say? It's about 16. I know it isn't exact. I think it's like something ridiculous, like £16 and 66p recurring or
Yeah, something
something.
like that.
But
Yeah,
I'll do it at £16 and 50p. So I'm even undercutting them here. So if I do that, and like I say, these go in about, I don't know, between an hour max. So then that's me being generous. So in that hour, FIFA have made 1.6 million.
yeah,
Just
crazy,
let
isn't
that
it?
sit here. The one day for 40 to 50 minutes, 1.6 million. That
That's it. That's the crazy thing.
And you think the game itself, just to buy the game alone's
It's
50
about
quid.
50, 60 quid.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's that sort of
Now, if you think about how many times a year EA
oh,
release
I
release
dread to think.
promos on Ultimate Team sort of thing. So
Black Friday.
just a quick overview, yeah, they've had um FIFA Ultimate Team freeze cards, which means that their positions have been changed. They've had headliners, which are cards that are slightly boosted. They've had Team of the Year, as you said, they've had Black Friday. They've had headliners, which are players cards that have just been boosted by quite a lot. Record breakers again and more boosted cards sort of thing. And that's only up until January, and I've probably missed some sort of thing.
Yeah. But
Think about
also
all these
that
opportunities.
you fall into there's a sort of like a catch 22 sort of thing, because if FIFA don't do those, like
People get
say,
bored.
yeah, people will be like, the content's rubbish. They don't release enough content. So FIFA's argument, I'm sure, or EA's argument would be, we're producing content for the community. So that's what do you want? Do you want a game that's not got content? But in the same aspect, my personal feeling is that that should be achievable within game, which it
Yeah,
isn't, because it is a massive pay to win game, which everyone will have their own opinions on whether games should be or can be pay to win. People will say if it's pay to win, don't play it. But
yeah,
when you take into consideration that, I think I wouldn't play FIFA if other companies had the license into the teams and stuff. So what I
no.
mean by that is that FIFA have the license into the to the teams, basically, or a
Premier
lot,
League, La Liga,
yeah.
Bundesliga,
So they'll have all the right names, kits, badges, you know,
all
that
of that
that sort of
stuff.
thing. And when you're playing a game, for someone that like myself that plays a lot of games, it's quite important that it's realistic in terms of what it portrays. That's what I've always struggled with other games such as PES and stuff like that. Is that
Yeah, I think
it's just the fact that they're not the right names and stuff like that. I hate it, and it's just a bugbear of mine. I know that there'll be people out there that are like, I don't care. I can play it, and to be honest, I'm quite envious of them because I wish I was like that. But it's they're starting to lose it a bit now with obviously people like Juventus and stuff taking away their
their own
um,
rights.
yeah, that's it. So, but I think that's where FIFA sort of got the upper hand because they've got them licensing and they know that people will want to keep playing with them with the full teams and stuff. That I think
Yeah,
that they do push their luck in that aspect of, all right, go play another
um,
game, but you're not going to be playing with the right setup, so to speak.
I think that's it because I've tried playing Pro Evolution Soccer, which is the other one you mentioned earlier,
Mm.
this year, and I get it. I get what you mean. It's very strange playing it with different kits and different names, like North London Red, I think is the Arsenal name sort of thing. It's very, very strange. Actually, Arsenal this year is Arsenal, but
Yeah, that's because
because
they
they
have a certain amount of teams that they sort of,
so yeah, it's like
yeah,
Arsenal, Barcelona, Juventus, Man United as well are on there.
yeah,
But
but
apart from that, normally like Everton is like Merseyside Blue, or it used to be anyway. I think it was, but it's very strange and very off-putting sort of thing. Because if you want to play a game for a long period of time, like you do with FIFA, like on a career mode or something like that, you want it to be more realistic, more interesting. You don't want to be completing
100%.
a season, a couple of seasons with Merseyside Blue because you think to yourself, well, there's no connection, sort of thing.
No, and I think that's the biggest thing is that we've become so connected with our teams, our sort of, players, the badges, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? When you play football, it's like you play for the badge on your shirt.
That's
So
it.
it's, yeah, it is. It's like I say, I think it's a big point of, um, but yeah, I mean, like I say, it's the effect on the ones that aren't as. I mean, like I say, we've played FIFA for a lot of years, and I think we've been quite lucky in where we've fallen, where we've
Mm.
had good good experiences in gameplay and stuff like that, um, graphics, stuff like that. But then also, I feel that the Ultimate Team, we came into it later. Like I mean, I played it. I think mine's like 2010, so that might be a year or two after it first come out. And
Yeah,
even then, I'd only play a couple of games. I wasn't really into it. It's only been probably the last 4 years that I've been solely like really playing Ultimate Team. So yeah, I think that's given me time to realize as well the fact that I ain't putting anything into it. I'm you see it for what it is at times.
yeah. I think the last point that we need to make on this before we sort of get back on topic is that the way I look at it is that, as you said before, you play games to sort of de-stress, you play games to relax, you play games to enjoy yourself. And one thing I can safely say is that nothing gets me more frustrated and more annoyed with a game than Ultimate Team. I don't think I've ever played a game more that's been so frustrating in my life. But you just keep going back. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
It's just some sort of addiction in that sense that you just keep going back for more. It's like a
a
glutton for
virtual
punishment.
drug. Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah. Um, but I think that's the last thing we sort of need to say before we get back onto the issue of the FIFA points, because I know we got slightly off. Well, we got quite a bit off topic in the end, talking about the whole um different aspects of the Ultimate Team world. But in general terms of the FIFA points, I think last year I bought um one lot of FIFA points. I think it was for like 15.99. I think I bought that 2,200 point, and I don't think I got anybody sort of thing. So this year I've not bothered doing it because
mm,
I think myself I was able to make that attachment quite early on that just because you buy the points doesn't mean you're going to have any better luck opening a pack than you do if you earn them through objectives or challenges, or if you buy them with the in-game coins that you earn by playing games.
yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest thing for a lot of people to realize is that you know it's just luck, stupid luck. Like I said to you, I remember like when I packed my first and only ever legend. It was when I won the foot draft the very first time, and I was like, "Oh wow, winning the foot draft's amazing!" So kept playing, and I've played foot draft every year since because that's how I make my coin. Um, I just as soon as I get to a point where I've got disposable income, so to speak, within the terms of Ultimate Team, I just play foot drafts and then sell on what I get, and that's how I made all the money I did. Also, packing two mayonnaise always helps at the start of FIFA.
Yeah.
Um,
Instead of selling them for 400,000 coins each sort of thing, it gets
yeah,
you off to a good start.
that's it. So I mean, obviously, there I just use that to reinvest into draft, and you know, done it that way.
I think Yeah, I think it's important to say that drafts is literally like a fantasy thing. Like you put your 15,000 coins in, or what is it? Is it a
Yeah, it's
thousand
15,
FIFA
15.
points?
I think it's 300.
300 FIFA points or
Yeah, I
something like
think
that.
it's 300 off the top of my head.
And then you get to choose between four. Is it four cards? I think it is four players. I think
5.
five players. There you go. So I don't play draft as much as you do. So,
Mm.
then you get to choose between
You've got me second
five players,
guessing myself now. I think it's
five
5.
five players in each position. You get to make sort of as much of a an iconic team as possible, but even that is complete luck of the draw. Sometimes you'll get an Mbappe or a Ronaldinho or something like that. And other times you'll get like a Granit Xhaka or a Phil Jones sort of thing. But it's just one of those things that it's another one of those situations where it's complete luck. The whole thing about Ultimate Team is complete luck. I know there's
Mm,
a lot of people that say that it's scripted, but that's a different topic for a different day.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, yeah. Like I say, it's more when you look at it. I just this is my like I say once again. This is not what's happening. This isn't what I'm telling people are happening, and this isn't me trying to tell people how they should think about stuff. But it just from it from an outside point of view, I kind of just see that they're taking advantage and want to take advantage of younger people that are probably more naive and a bit silly with their money, if that makes sense.
yeah, there are obviously people out there that have got the disposable income to do that,
Yeah,
and that's fair play.
all
That's
power
fair
to
play to
them.
them,
And like I
sort of
say,
thing.
if people want to spend their money on stuff, then that's up to them. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. It don't matter whatever. It doesn't affect me personally. So I wouldn't sort of take anything to heart because someone's decided to spend their last 20 quid on FIFA points. That's up to them. They're the ones that have got to find food at the end of the month, not me.
That's it. Yeah.
So yeah,
I think
it's
I think it's important to stress the point that you sort of briefly touched earlier, that the most amount of FIFA points you can buy in one transaction is 12,000 FIFA points,
mm,
which to do that you have to spend £79.99p.
yeah,
That's 80 quid for 12,000 FIFA points.
and that'll get you
It's
4 of the best packs that you can get, and
yeah,
for a decent card out of that, which you'd consider 65 plus or whatever, that's going to be 85, 86 plus. Um, you're probably looking at 6%.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, and a goalkeeper. But yeah, probably about 6%, I think, or something around about there. So 6% chance of actually getting that, and that's from the most expensive pack.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do is we need to sort of touch back on what we mentioned at the start of the video is about personally, do we think that EA are intentionally or not intentionally, obviously I don't want to get into any sort of legal trouble sort of thing, enabling this sort of attachment to FIFA points as an essential part of the game, especially for the younger generation in a sense that could it possibly have an effect on long-term gambling issues for these kids or for teenagers sort of thing as
Well,
they've got all of these options here.
yeah, because obviously it's been addressed. Sorry, it has been addressed in some countries. I think it's the Netherlands that have sort of trying to sue FIFA for basically loot box because I believe in Holland that they've banned all forms of loot box. Loot boxes
Yeah.
are, you pay real money for in-game, um, in-game sort of content that is um, random. You've got a probability on there, and you could get something brilliant, you could get something terrible. So you're potentially
Same thing
basically
with FIFA packs,
gambling your
yeah.
money. That's my personal opinion on it. You are just taking your money, putting it in a putting it down a hole and saying, fingers crossed, I get something good. Um, but I know that Holland, like I say, I'm more than certain it was Holland that sort of won a lawsuit. I think they even won the lawsuit as well because FIFA continued to do packs in Holland, but Holland had banned any loot boxing or anything like that. So,
Yeah, because I think in that sense it is. I think you have to look at it as a form of gambling because you're literally putting some money in, hoping that you get something good, which is
hmm,
what you do when you bet. You put money on an accumulator or you put money on a team to win, and all you're doing is hoping that they win. You've got no control over the outcome at all. It's not like you're paying for set players sort of thing. It's just one of
yeah,
those things that's a complete chance, and that's what you do when you gamble.
I
You've
think I
got no
think it
guarantees one way or the other.
it's more like if you, I mean, I play a lot of stuff like Rainbow Six Siege, stuff like that, and I've bought an elite skin on there. I think it's about 6 quid. The difference with that is the fact that you know what you're buying. You're buying a product. You're buying something that's advertised, and you're buying something that you can see what you're buying. With packs, all you can see is that you're buying an ultimate pack with like I say, these aren't precise percentages, but say like 6%. It's I don't know. I find it a bit weird. Um,
N- Yeah,
you
so I think that
you don't know what you're buying.
no, not at all. I think that's the thing. And obviously, if the younger people are exposed to this from obviously from a young age, this is just the normal for them. So
Mm,
will they go through life just sort of, oh, I did this when I was a certain age. Should I just do it with this, that, the other sort of
yeah.
thing? Is there a correlation, or is there a, s- a connection between this between Ultimate Team FIFA points and gambling addictions later in life? I guess we're not going to know the answer to this for
No,
another
no.
about 10 years or so because
And
obviously,
that's like I
uh,
say, like we said before. That's not to say that FIFA, that it does cause gambling addictions. It's just like I say, just what
we're asking
we
the question.
yeah, that's it. We're just talking about it between each other. We're not telling
And
you that it
yourselves, yeah.
is and that you shouldn't. We're just talking. It's yeah. I think also that there's going to be, especially now, probably a little bit more later on with kids growing up watching their mums and dads who play FIFA doing that, so they think that it's okay because their parents
That's
are
it.
doing it. Um, you know, so that's also something to sort of keep in mind. Is that they probably sit in the front room, see dad sitting there putting his money in and sort of doing packs or something. I know, like I say, you know,
I think the other question you've got to ask yourself: are FIFA points the issue, or is it the streamers that are normalizing having FIFA points to be able to progress the game? I know that the streamers need the FIFA points to be able to get a viewership because that's what they use to get packs to grind SBCs, to get coins to buy better players, to have better
I
content
don't
sort of thing.
I don't think so. I think that my personal opinion is the fact that streamers have got their own business, they're doing their own thing, they get reimbursement from that, so they're basically investing in their own product. Um, any Some of the streamers that I've seen and that I watch, any decent one will turn around to you and tell you not to buy FIFA points. A lot of them do. A lot of them sit
Mm,
there and say you shouldn't don't buy FIFA points. It's a waste of money. Um, but then in the same aspect, when they get something good, the first thing on their thumbnail and stuff is I packed Messi. So
yeah,
and that's what kids want to do. Kids want to get the best cards. They want to they want to be able to turn around to their mates and say, "Oh, I packed this, I packed that." So yeah, it is
one of the days when the best thing we packed was in a Panini sticker book sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. The old shinies.
That's it. But I don't know. It's one of those topics that causes debate amongst parents, amongst kids, amongst politicians, amongst streamers. As you say, when I raised the question, it's sort of one of those things. I just wanted to bring up another side of the coin, sort of thing. I don't
Definitely.
think it's the streamers because, as I say, or as you say, it's their job, sort of thing. They need this
Mm,
to survive. And EA have given the option to do it, so that's what they need to do to further themselves. But
yeah.
the other question that you can ask is it possible for EA or Microsoft or Sony or all of them to come together and to put an age limit on it? So you have to be 18 or over at least to be able
Mm.
to buy FIFA points.
Well, see
Because surely that can't be that difficult.
that's where sort of grey area is, because we're sitting here saying, to us you know it looks like gambling. So if it's classed as gambling, then you shouldn't be allowed to gamble till you're 18, or is it 16? 16, isn't it?
18, yeah. 18.
18. Uh, you can do the lottery at 16, can't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. So yeah, lottery gambling anyway. So but yeah, like I say, it's if it is a case that someone needs, in my personal point, someone needs to address it in terms of what is it, because no one really knows what it is. Um,
No.
you can't sit there and say it's gambling because technically it isn't in how it's, because otherwise kids wouldn't be able to do it, but kids can do it. So what is it? That's a big question as well.
That's it. I think to round this video off sort of thing, we sort of need to make some personal summaries. So in terms of what I would personally feel about FIFA points is that, or Ultimate Team in itself, I think you can enjoy the game without buying the FIFA points. I know that some people want to do it to help give themselves a bit of a leg up. I know that especially we spoke about it. We definitely spoke about it at the start of FIFA just to get ourselves off to a right start, but off to a good start sort of thing. I don't think we ended up doing it in the end, but it
No.
was just something that we discussed sort of thing. But um, I personally feel like you can play the Ultimate Team without having to do it. I know it's all a game of luck. You can pack, like I've seen somebody pack a Pele in just a standard gold pack sort of thing, so like for
Mm,
5,000 coins. But then again, you can buy a 125k pack and you pack nobody over 82 rated. It's literally one of those luck things.
yeah.
Um, if it was
Yeah.
down to me, sort of thing, I would definitely think that they would need to look at age limiting them.
Yeah.
I don't know how easy that is, but or whether it's even possible. But I think that would be the way to get around it is to do it from either 16, possibly 16, possibly 18. As you say, it all depends to what it gets classified as, whether it's gambling or if it's just sort of entertainment.
Mm,
Um, but I think that there's obviously been some really dodgy cases where you hear about these people that clear out their mum and dad's credit card sort of thing just on FIFA points sort of thing, and it's just like, oh, wait, what can you even do in that situation?
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think that's I think that is more of the parents' responsibility and the naivety of the parents as well. And I think that it's happened enough now where people should be aware of that. People shouldn't have their cards saved on their console if their kids are using it. I mean, if it's you
Mm,
using it, I mean, I like personally, no one goes on my say my Xbox or saying no one goes on there other than me. So I know that if my card's saved on there, I'm going to be the one purchasing stuff. I mean, I don't use a card anyway, but it's yeah, I think that's down to the parent person. Uh,
I don't
but
even like my
that's
2-year-old to have. I don't even like my 2-year-old to have my Amazon Fire Stick in case he accidentally rents a film or
yeah,
buys a film on it.
that's it. Yeah, but yeah, and like I say, just to sort of not very controversial this video in terms of between me and you. I think we're sort of on the same page, and we're sort of in that aspect. But it's yeah, I think people need to look at it and decide what it is. And by people, I mean either government, something like that, where they say this is what it is. We class this as gambling. So in that case, no one under the age of 18 should be able to do it. And then if they are over the age of 18, they need the responsibility to obviously be able to make the right choices. But in the same aspect, like any other gambling sort of sites and stuff like that, you need to be able to set limits as well, which I
Yeah,
think they introduced this year. If I'm correct.
that's it. Yeah, because I know a lot of the betting apps have got cooldown periods that you can set yourself.
Yeah, but I think they've done it with FIFA points this year.
Oh, have they?
I think so. I could be wrong. Let us know if I am, maybe. But I'm pretty sure that they implemented something this year where you can sort of restrict how much you spend.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, but then also that points again to gambling. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I say, I mean, we were going to have
Uh,
sort of a structure to this video, but it seems, like I say, we've been recording for 40 minutes now. So yeah, I think we'll probably call it there. Hope you enjoyed our first video.
yeah.
Like I say, this is what it's going to be. I think later down the line we'll probably look at expanding into different things. Obviously, if you guys request stuff that you want to see or anything like that, then just let us know, and we'll do our best to sort of provide you with the content you want. But
Well, that's it. I think the main thing we're going to say here is that obviously we're not going to not everyone's going to agree with us. And I think that's the whole
mm,
point of us recording it and put it
yeah,
out
this is
here.
why we wanted to do it. Is
Is that
everyone's got a different point of view, and we
we're not
might be
even going to
wrong.
agree on everything.
Yeah, and we're not saying we're right. We're not saying we're wrong. This is how I see it, and I feel that I'm open minded enough to sort of look at something from a different point of view and maybe going, oh, actually, yeah, no, that makes sense. I can see that from that point of view. That make and not just be, this is my opinion, it's right, and you can't change my mind. So
That's it. It's all
you know,
about open conversation amongst me and you,
mm,
Dan, and also with you, the viewers or the
yeah,
listeners, sort of thing.
but,
But I think,
mm,
yeah, it's definitely, we want you guys to comment. We want you guys to get involved. We want you guys to interact, sort of thing.
yeah.
Um,
And if there is any new, like different topic, completely even off sport, gaming, whatever, anything at all, just sort of let us know if you want us to talk about it, and we will. But yeah, until next time, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
thank you very much.